We have figured out the 3 best lenses that don't break the bank. Show me the money.
There's only one thing that we love more than eating food with chopsticks, and that's photography.
We have quite the buffet of lenses. Today, it is all about the lenses.
ABL.
That's right.
Like to call it
ABL.
All about the lenses. Before we jump into our ABL All About Lenses show, we want to remind you to subscribe to Panoptic Chopsticks channel, the Chopstick Guys, however you want to look it up. You're already here, so go ahead and just hit the subscribe
button. There's a button
button
down there.
somewhere.
Crush
but
it.
also ring that bell. If you ring that bell, you'll be notified every single stinking time that we put out something new.
We have amazing things coming up, so you want to subscribe right now so you don't miss anything. But let's jump in.
No, before we do that. We are introducing a brand new segment.
We are?
Yes, and it's actually towards the end of the show.
You know, it's hard to believe, but sometimes we don't agree on things. Yeah.
Yes.
There are things that we have very spirited debates.
About photography.
Yes.
Things,
and you know what? Today, we're going to let you in on one of those spirited debates.
We are. We're kind of forming this new segment, the debate segment.
That's right.
It's not just one of those like courtroom debate segments. Not one of those boring things.
We
are doing it, of course, over lunch, and today happens to be sushi day. So over sushi. So join us at the end of this show.
That's right.
For that brand new unnamed
spirited
segment.
debate.
So what do we got here today? We got some.
Hey, so
ABL.
You see this huge buffet of lenses here?
I do.
You know what? Here's what's amazing. So there's 7 lenses sitting on this table right now. 3 of these lenses you can purchase for under $500, and we believe that they are all lenses you could build a business on the back of.
Yes, they won't break the bank. And I see you have a stack of cash.
I do have a stack of cash, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you $500, and when we get done talking,
lunch is going to be good
each one
today.
of us is going to decide where would we drop our $500 on one lens if we only had the ability to shoot with one of these lenses and only $500 to spend. So without further ado, let's jump in.
Yeah, so what do we got here today?
The first thing, when we're talking portrait photography, the holy grail of portrait photography is this lens right here, right?
You know, actually, I kind of say it's the holy grail of all things photography, right? Because I use this lens for portraits. I use it for
24 to 70, 2.8. It doesn't matter if it's Canon, Nikon, Sony. On all of those cameras, this is the lens that most photographers will go, this is the workhorse.
It's in my bag on my camera.
That's right. So, here's the problem.
They're expensive.
What is the Nikon version? This one going for right now?
$2,400.
$2,400.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah. So, we have an alternative.
That's not the budget lens, no.
That's right. So, let's talk about the first lens. It's sitting on my camera right here. This is what's funny. This exact lens, the one that's here, missing lens hood, this is the actual lens that I built my business upon. I pulled it out of the bag today, put it on here, and it was like putting an old friend back on.
It's a little beat up even, but you know, it's worn in.
This thing is an old lens, but they're still making it. This is the Tamron 28 to 75 2.8
So it's kind of that odd focal range, right? I mean, like instead of being a 24 to 7, but it's shifted. It's just shifted up a little bit.
It is.
It doesn't make a difference.
Amazing, sharp lens, very fast lens. Yes, I know there's those of you out there that are going to go, yeah, but I saw a thing where it's 0.3 of a second faster, slower than the 7200. You know what? That doesn't matter when you're building a business.
So here's the crazy thing. You've seen my pictures taken with this. I've seen your pictures taken with that.
Yeah. Can you tell the difference?
Can I tell that big of a difference?
No.
Unless I'm pixel peeping, which I don't like to do.
No.
I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
This is a great line. Now, tell me how much this thing costs.
Okay.
This is crazy. This is
$2,400.
$2,400.
$399.
$399,
brand new. I'll put the link down below. You can
B&H,
check it out yourself from B&H. Brand spanking new.
This is a 2.8, not variable 2.8. It's a fixed 2.8 lens at a 28 to 75 for $400.
That's right.
Super sharp.
This lens has been a lot of places and photographed a lot of people. And it's been around the world a couple of times.
And you know what? Now that you say that, like, hold it up for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Like, when Mark says it's been taken around the world, you know why? It's because he can take this one out and carry it. This actually is pretty big and heavy. That's
nice light. That's one of the things about affordable lenses. You know, a lot of people talk about the build quality isn't as good, and I agree with that. But, you know, again, as a professional, you're going, no, I need the durability I've got to have. But as someone who's getting into portrait photography, do you need anodized? Do you need aluminum and all the crazy metals and things? No.
For if you're shooting senior portrait, if you're not, let's put it this way, if you're not doing commercial work all the time, like if you're just taking pictures, if you're doing senior portrait work, weddings even, that lens
Does it all.
it does. It's a great deal.
Okay. So what's the next lens?
Next lens.
We couldn't talk about budget lenses without talking about the
nifty-fifty. Every single time that you ask a photographer, what lens should I start my kit with? This is the lens that you're going to hear about. It's the 50. Now this is actually the older version of the Nikon 50. It's got an aperture ring.
You can still pick those up for like $125. I've seen them like even on like eBay or something, or Amazon for under $100. So
the new version of this is $215.
Yep.
$215.
Yep.
Now, do you shoot with your 50?
No. I'll tell you what, though. I started with a 50, though. That was my first wide aperture lens. So I kept watching everybody's pictures, and I went, I want to have that nice creamy bokeh like everybody. I got a 51.8.
It works.
And it worked.
I mean, this thing, like you get a 1.8 lens for $135 or $200. In fact, the three different versions of this lens, from Nikon to the Canon one's really cheap. It's like $125.
Yeah, for their newest one.
For their newest one.
Yeah.
The Sony's $250, right? Yeah. So that's the most expensive of the bunch. But for a 1.8 lens where you can get all crafty and do the cool, Instagramish type pictures, the stuff that you love. But
I would say in the last 5 years, the only time I've ever pulled that lens out was a few years ago. I pulled it out. I used to use it for like shooting rings because it has such a close focus.
No, you know why it is?
Why is that?
Because you got a new lens.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next lens.
Exactly. So the 50 is a great lens. Would you build your business on it?
Could you?
Could you? Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Would you? Probably not.
So the next lens that everybody's
this
talking
is not
about,
our budget lens.
This is not it. So is the 85 millimeter.
Yes.
Right. Every portrait photographer. But again, I think that's one of the reasons the 50 got so much popularity because, back 5-10 years ago, everybody had APS-C crop sensors. That was equivalent to like an 85 millimeter on a full frame. So it was a great focal length.
So here's what's funny. We were talking about 24-70, expensive or luxury, I don't know how you want to phrase it, versus value.
Yep.
Okay. Expensive luxury versus value 85.
That's right.
This is where we flip-flop.
And again, if you were to look at this lens by Canon, by Nikon, by Sony, you're going to be looking in that closer to $2,000.
Yeah.
This is the Sigma 85 1.8 art lens.
Don't start talking about it yet.
1.4.
It's
again.
That's the more luxury.
It is. So
we're going on.
Let's talk about the budget lens here, which
because you'll talk about that thing forever.
Because I love this lens. It is.
So here it is the 85 by 1.8, not 1.4, but 1.8 by Nikon. It's a plastic lens. People make fun of me because of this plastic lens. This lens has truly been all over the world. It's taken pictures of portraits in Kenya and El Salvador. No matter where I am, I bring
and
it
is as sharp as a knife through hot butter, as they say.
Well, I even like to say it's sharper than a sushi knife, right?
There we go.
But this lens is great. This lens, right now, B&H, $475 for a stellar sharp lens. Great bokeh. It's just a great lens. This lens actually stays on my camera all the time.
There's a lot of, I won't even name the brand, but there's some brands that you can find out there that are really cheap 85s.
Yep.
They're not worth the money.
No.
This is worth the money.
This is a great lens. So, to get the equivalent in the Nikon for a 1.4, right, it's going to be $1,500.
Mm-hmm. Equivalent on a Canon is what, $1,700?
No.
They're a little bit
budget
cheaper,
version right now?
Not the budget version. They're high end.
Yeah, their high end is $1,700. Okay. The budget version, get this, for Canon, $350 today on B&H. $350 you can get a really good.
We'll definitely link that below.
And then, of course, the Sony's going to be more expensive. It's the most expensive of the value.
But it's still, it's $600. So,
but that's the lens. If you shoot portraits, you need it. If you shoot landscapes, that's the lens. But if you shoot portraits, this is the lens to go with. Yep. It is by far the best. Talk about that Sigma just for a second.
Okay. So 1.4 art lens. This is the sharpest lens known to man.
This one breaks the bank a little bit.
It does. But it's still where it's at versus where Canon, Sony, Nikon's at around $2,000. This one is $11.99. And this is a fantastic lens. But when you shoot your 85 and I shoot my 85, can you see much difference?
Not if I'm shooting. If you're shooting at 1.4, of course.
Exactly.
Right.
But if I'm shooting at
But if you're shooting at a normal aperture, f2.
We could pixel peep and we could talk about how the outside of the frames got a little bit sharper, all those things that no one cares about other than people that have websites that talk about how they should care about how sharp it is.
So we've got our three lenses. So we've got Tamron, 28 to 75.
Yeah, $400.
50.
$250. $200.
$200, right?
Averages out.
85.
500.
500, let's just call it that way. So that puts the Nikon version of these three things. So you can get 3 lenses to start your photo business or to build your photo business for $1,100.
$1,100. Wait, so let's though, they're high end.
Okay, so if we replace these lenses with this, right, 24 to 70, with the 50 1.4,
that's right,
with the 85 1.4, we're talking of $4,750. Yeah. So that's a difference of
$3,700. What could you do with $3,700?
You know what I could buy for $3,700? I could buy a D850 with a battery grip.
That's right.
So
how amazing is that?
Actually, when I think about that, that just kind of blew my mind.
That's
because,
right.
You know, we think, oh, you gotta have the best lenses, but
okay, that's Nikon. Canon.
Yeah.
It's even cheaper.
It is
$925 for their inexpensive
for their little
version.
trio there.
Actually, for Tamrons, for this one, you're going to end up $925.
The Canon version going
their
to
L
glasses,
lenses, their L series,
right, is $4,750 again.
Yeah, $3,600. Guess what? You can pretty much almost buy a 5D Mark IV. So you're looking to upgrade that camera.
There you go. And I can tell you, using these lenses, the value lenses on a 5D Mark IV. Stellar. It's going to look great. Exactly. Using these lenses on an 850, blow you away.
But now, the camera that everybody's talking about is Sony. And so it's a little bit more. You can get those 3 lenses, though, the value series, for $1,350.
Which is still amazing.
Yeah.
Still amazing. I mean, when again, we look at the price, $2,500 for this versus $1,300 for 3 lenses.
Versus it's $5,500 to get their G Master series. That? You're going to make me do math again? Yes. What is that, $4,200?
What can you buy for $4,200?
Wow.
An A9, right? And that's like flagship.
Yeah, you could be shooting an A9 for the price. And I know people are all automatically thinking, they're going like, guys, glass is better to invest in than a camera.
Let's get crazier than this. Yeah. You can get 2 AR3s. Yeah, 2 AR3s.
Yeah,
and that suite of lenses.
It's just, wow.
For that price.
Yeah.
Woo! That's a nice little kit, I gotta tell you.
That is an amazing kit. So again, just putting it into perspective, this isn't about what's better. Obviously, you're seeing all of the lenses from our kits, and we have, better lenses than we started out with. But if you're starting out, there's lenses here you could build your business on.
You can.
So you got your $500.
All right. But there's another lens here first.
You want to talk about that lens first?
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's talk about that lens.
So this is not in our little mix-up of gizmos here.
Because this one, there is a budget alternative, but it's not really, for most people, a budget alternative.
So this bad boy, this actually is one of my favorite lenses.
Yeah.
Right. It's a 70-200. It's a VR lens. It's a Nikon. This thing is outrageously expensive for the new model.
Yes.
It's almost $3,000. It's like $2,900, which I think is just ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. And I think the Sony's probably even more for
their... It's like $3,600.
Yeah, exactly.
It's dumb. So you have something there.
I do.
That you've had for a long time.
So I have this lens here, and is this lens better than the lens I have in my hand? Yes, it is. This is the Nikon 80-200.
And you bought it used.
I bought this thing used. This thing has been my workhorse. I haven't bought the 70-200. Why? Because I have not yet had this fail on me yet. And yes, I know I can see all of the tests where you can show me that's a little bit sharper, it's a little bit faster, but for the work that I do, this thing has served me so well. You can still find these things used for right around anywhere. I've seen them as low as like $650 to $850.
It's a really good deal.
So if you're sitting there going like, I have some of these lenses, but I just really want to get into the 70-200. There are options out there, but I think the better option
is... There's some really good options. So like Sigma, which we love the Sigma lenses.
Yep.
We love Tamron lenses too. In fact, you're watching this filmed on a Tamron 35 1.8.
Yeah, and
it's again, that's a cheap lens. That's like a $500 lens also. It's probably my sharpest lens.
Yep.
But
great wedding lens.
Tamron and Sigma, right around
$1,400 you can get into a...
I think
and they're sharper.
Honestly, just as good as this. And
I think the Tamron 70-200 is like one of the greatest lenses.
So here's what I would do. if I was going to spend that dough, right? If I was going to spend the $3,000 range, $2,500 range, I would get 24 to 70 in Tamron or Sigma, or excuse me, 7,200 in the Tamron or Sigma. Get the 24 to 70 Tamron, the brand new version.
Yes.
You can get both of those together for right around $2,400.
And you're can compete with anybody out there.
All right, you gave me $500.
Yeah. So where are you going to spend your $500? Do you know where? Got your answer locked in?
I'm locked and loaded.
Okay. I got mine locked in too.
Okay.
Kinda.
Okay. Here it is. Here's my answer.
Okay. Is the 85.
Is the 85 because I'm a portrait guy, right? I don't shoot a lot of landscapes. When I do, I've got the other stuff. But for $500, $475, this lens does everything I need it to do.
If you were only gonna shoot portraits, my money would go there.
My money's going right inside.
My money's gonna go right here at the Tamron 28 to 75.
Here's the cool thing is that
I still have $100
you still have lunch
lunch.
money left for that
A
one.
few times. I'm not spending $100 at lunch. You know how cheap I am.
Yeah, I do.
There is no way.
It's hard to spend $100 at McDonald's,
So
isn't it?
what a great buffet of lenses like we talked about, but there's some options out there for you. Again, we'll link them down below so you could check them out yourself. Do your due diligence and look around the internet. See what other people are saying about these lenses.
I want to hear your comments, right? What do you think of this?
Did we miss one? Is there a lens
Are we out of our mind, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of you guys tell us that every week. You guys are crazy. You're out of your mind. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But we want to hear that. We love your feedback. But if there's a lens that you say, this is my value go-to lens that you think is just the bomb diddly.
That's right. We want to know.
We want to know. We love gearing. We're gearhead, gear talkers.
And we have people all the time asking us, and they're people with all different sorts of budgets.
Yep.
So there is not one standard answer that we give to anybody.
Hey, but before we head out to lunch,
Yes.
to do our big debate, don't forget, like and subscribe.
Yes.
What do you get?
Everything roll. Yeah.
Everything.
Make that 2.
All right.
We're gonna get garlic edamame as well.
All right. Anything else?
That's good to start with. Thank you.
All right.
Did you get that coupon in the email?
Which one?
CG Pro Prince.
I did.
It's a pretty good offer. I can't. How do they do this stuff so?
Yeah. So again, so I did that work for my friend Joe.
Yeah. Well, that was
That
the
client
gym.
for the gym.
Yeah.
12 trainers. We printed 11 by 14s. Oh, fantastic. Look at that. So 11 by 14s
Thank you.
came out to $19.95 each. Like the whole bill, it was like $300
That's crazy.
for 12 11 by 14 ready to hang on the wall canvases.
Okay, we got garlic edamame, which might stall our conversation a little bit.
It might.
So, were you happy with the way it turned out?
Yeah, I've done a lot with CG over the years. I got like 6 or 7 different CGs hanging on my wall, and they do a fantastic job. And that was one where, Dan, who had the print shop, he actually looked into them, and it was like, he gave me the big thumbs up of like, yeah, they're good. They're using pigmented inks, and they're using the right canvas and all that stuff. So it's good stuff.
But
You don't print though.
no, I don't.
I don't. Just go to your house. You have like 3 pictures on the wall.
I like just plain walls, nothing on them.
Just
I'm a
white-
simple guy. I'm a
White
simple
walls.
guy. You give me white walls, I'm happy.
Yeah. But I don't know how many people print anymore. I love it. I love printing.
You think printing's important?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Why not?
Because all my stuff is on my computer, right? I post stuff to Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, but
That way everybody can see it. If I print it, it's just for me.
but what about for a client? You don't care, do you?
I don't care.
Let them print it if they want.
Because, and it's probably maybe a backwards way of thinking, and we're probably, I'll probably hear it from everybody that you're leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes,
Maybe it comes down to that I'm lazy, right?
you are.
The printing for a client means I have to talk to them again. I have to set up a selling session. I have to get it delivered. What if they're not happy? I figure out what size, all that kind of stuff, right? And it just comes down, I just don't want to deal with it. I'd rather deliver digital images, not have to charge them tax, and...
Yeah, fair enough for there, but I think... I believe that printing, like every picture you should be ready to be printed. It ought to be in the right color space. And
every picture?
Everyone. No, not everyone, but... When I'm taking a session, senior portraits, engagements, weddings, that's my thought process is, this picture's going to be printed.
And maybe you have to shift that. And say every picture has to be ready for Instagram. Instagram is the new wall of the future, right? It's like...
Yes and no. I don't believe that. I mean, I believe that, yes, more people are sharing stuff on Instagram, on their phones, but I still think we're going to shift back to... People are going to realize, wow, I missed my whole childhood. I missed my whole teenagehood, whatever it's called, because it was on a telephone, and now that phone's gone. It fell in the lake.
I don't think anything's going to be on a telephone. See, that's the problem. You're still stuck in the hammer and chisel age.
I'm still analog.
Right? Oh, let's go and chisel out their picture on stone. You're in the 10 Commandments of photography, right? It's like, let me chisel these out and I'm going to hold up the tablets.
Yeah. No, I do believe that, and it does cause me trouble, because anything I put online, I shoot in Adobe RGB, which is the Adobe color space.
Because it's got more color.
It does. The dynamic range, but the color space is so much bigger. It's like 5 times bigger than sRGB. Problem is, sRGB, anything that goes on the web gets converted automatically to the sRGB. Well, if I do something in Adobe RGB and I don't watch the conversion, I just save it and put it up there, I lose color, and then I look at my stuff and I go, man, it looked better on my computer.
It looks flat and ugly.
But I make myself feel better by, oh yeah, well, Steve's stuff won't print very good.
Because I print all the time.
His will look better online, but mine will print better.
And where are people looking at your pictures? Where are you getting your business from? From people walking through your house looking on your wall?
Of course. But I have found that I'm not selling so much pictures as, to me, I use a lot of times pictures to close the deal with things like CG Pro Print, so I can sit there and I can go, okay, I'll shoot your wedding, plus I'll give you a free 20 by 24 canvas. And suddenly they start looking around, they start talking to people that are selling images, and they're going, that's like a $285 image.
Or $58 at Costco.
But I'll tell you what,
See, that's the problem with
Costco's good, but that's what's ruining, I think, a lot of people's idea of printing.
And that's it for me. It's like the whole printing thing. Okay, I look at something like CG Pro, which, I've seen your stuff hanging on your wall. It looks great. Made photo. Looks fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Expensive. Not overly super expensive, but it's more than CG. And so people go to Costco, they go to Walmart, they go to wherever they see these canvases, for $58.
Yeah, that are printed on plastic canvas.
And they're going, oh, this looks great. Look what I can get for $58. They don't understand that
it looks good today.
What a $250 print looks like.
Exactly.
So, for me, like, the trouble of having to sell it.
Yep. And again, because I don't ever think of it through the way of, like, I have to sell this. My thought process is, when it goes to a client, it's ready to be printed. But then again, I hate the fact that I don't have control over the printing, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to go to Walmart, or they're going to go to Costco. Costco's going to put the auto-correct on there. Yep. Their computer's going to go, oh, everybody's skin tone's off, so we're gonna warm it up. And I'm going, no, I've already color
so
corrected
everything
it.
You've done, you corrected
Perfectly. Is now, ugh.
So you would agree that printing just isn't worth it nowadays?
No, I'm not going to agree with that. I think letting somebody else print is a dumb idea. Do I let them do it? Yes, I'd let them do it. But Do I think it's a bad idea? Yeah, because people do not understand the art of printing.
You know, I think it's a great idea. Ordering garlic edamame is a great idea.
Yeah, we can agree on that.
Because it's good stuff. No, you know, okay, I'll give this to you. Thank you. I've thought about, like, printing more. And then I think, oh, there's a really good coupon for CG, like the one that just came out. That's as far as it goes in my head.
Because then it's the, what picture?
In fact, my wife, last night, remember I took those really great pictures, those self-portrait pictures of my family, right? She goes, hey, Steve, we've never printed those pictures. Why not?
And you said, because I don't print. No.
Because I said, huh, you're right.
And that was where that's all it went.
Yeah, and I know what she's thinking. She's thinking like,
then print it.
Why aren't you doing it? What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, dodge that one. So,
I actually though think there's, as a photographer, there's something magical about seeing your work printed. Because it always looks better than it did on the screen, because there's more detail than the screen can ever produce. And I don't know, it just feels real. I don't know, I get inspired. To where when again, landscapes. Neither one of us are great landscape photographers, but when I go out, I'm always thinking like, I want something I can print and hang on the wall. You're thinking what? I wish I can get some likes on Instagram.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
All right, can I get you guys anything else?
A couple more of these.
Come on.
I mean,
I'll give you more napkins.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
that thing is just, I mean,
Okay, so like, look at this thing from the side, right? Like, that's like a 4-bite per slice roll.
and everything good in there. Thank you.
I can never figure out is why yours is always bigger. That happens every time.
It's not.
It's totally big.
You're just like busting out at the seams there.
I mean, this is.
I'm just knocking
I
everything
don't
over.
even ever know where to start. I always kind of dig at these because I like these end pieces for the end.
I do. You know what I can appreciate too, though, is not that I mind them. I never know what to do with the tail is sticking out.
Winter this week.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that. And we're gonna. Oh yeah. I didn't remember avocado being there.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything's okay today?
Oh man, it's better than okay.
Great.
So good.
Perfect.
We've been craving this. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, Sonny, who's the owner here, and he's a good guy.
We've seen this place go from I'm not saying this as a bad thing, a little hole in the wall to they're doing all kinds of construction, changing. And you said on Yelp lately you've been seeing like the reviews are coming.
He's got reviews that like say, you know, and we got some really good sushi. You know, we got some good
World-class sushi in Sacramento.
Like I don't know why Sacramento's kind of a sushi haven, but it is. And like he's risen to be kind of the cream of the crop. And he just started doing ramen. Like his reviews on ramen are out of this world. People are loving his ramen. So.
We don't eat a lot of ramen, and you know what? I like ramen. It's kind of a nice comfort food. And I think what scares most people is they're thinking ramen noodles, package of noodles. Like, why would I go out and eat that?
I solved. Okay, that was bite number 3 on one, and I still have another bite worth.
So delicious. Need just the tiniest amount of.
So here's what I think with printing. Here's where I'm going to agree with you. Okay, I can't argue this point. One of my biggest worries about people that aren't printing anything, including myself, you had kind of alluded to it. You said everything's on your telephone. You know, I don't think anything's on your telephone, but maybe on your smartphone. Right? So, great example. What happened to my wife's phone 2 weeks ago?
Yep, we went through the washing
Went through the washing machine. Not just through the washing machine. Her iPhone bent in half. Like, I mean, it was destroyed.
I saw it. It was like spider web.
Now, we had backed it up recently, but she probably had a month's worth of pictures and stuff on there. Gone. Okay, so what happens to the people that don't back up at all?
I don't back up my phone. I mean, I download it off my phone all the time. But
all of their kids' birthday parties,
yeah,
births.
I've heard this said that, like, our kids' generation will be the first generation that doesn't have a shoebox full of photos in the garage. I mean, I literally have tubs of photos that I've taken through my teen years and my college years.
You love going back and looking at them.
I do.
There is something about holding that picture that makes a difference. And you know what the thing about, like, family pictures of kids, they don't have to be perfect. Like, we always think of, you know, you were saying it has to be ready to print. Well, you know what?
Those
Family
don't,
pictures.
yeah.
And if we're not printing those are all memories. And that's what, you know. In fact, my girls say this. They say, I don't know if I actually remember the event or just remember looking at the picture of the event. Isn't that true? Think of things that you remember. It's because I saw a picture of it.
Yeah, I don't remember, like, my grandfather. I remember nothing about him other than the pictures of my grandfather. And I just have to live those memories, through that.
So, I think my mind is shifting as we're talking. Just to, like, so critical. First, just data backup is so critical. But, you know, we're loading all this stuff directly on Instagram and Facebook and trusting that it's still going to be there a year from now.
Okay, so I got that new desk this weekend. I set it up.
That's that standing desk.
That standing desk. But, so I was kind of cleaning things in my office. I have 14 external hard drives for my photos. 14 of them. And it's like, if somebody came and stole those or anything, they're gone. I have a lot of stuff, you know, out on SmugMug or things like that stored, but those are my digital. Those are my negatives. They're just there.
They're sitting there.
Those drives, I could plug one in tomorrow and find out it doesn't work.
Probably one of those 14 don't.
And one of the thoughts I've had was like, okay, do I need to start once a month picking out, you know, 200 images and have them printed?
Yeah, just print it. Just not. I mean, not like a.
Go to Costco and have a 4x6 printed. The problem is, as I sit down and I start looking through my 14 external hard drives, and I start jumping around, and then I'm like,
It's overwhelming.
it's overwhelming just to find my kids in things.
You know what my brother did? I don't know if he still does it. This was a couple years ago. He would take every month. He actually was a subscription program. I don't know what the name of it is. Okay. But there were the photo books. Every month, he would automatically download his camera roll from his phone to this company and print a book and ship it to him. $5 a month.
No way.
Yeah. And just thinking, you know, and he told me it's because that way I actually have my pictures. And he says it's really fun to pull out, you know, July of 2018. Boom, there's my pictures. And really, when you think about it, that's a really cool thing. If I don't have to think about it and it happens.
Except for Machi.
Dude, this is really good.
It is really good. So you have the same thing. There's tuna. There's salmon. There's some spicy tuna in there. There's the crab salad. There is shrimp in there. On the top, you got roe. Plus, I got hamachi staggered. I mean, just
And crunch.
crunch. Love the crunch.
Remember we asked Sonny what's crunch? He goes, it's crunch. Yeah, but what is it? Crunch. What's it made out of? Crunch.
Tempura. Oh.
It's crunch.
And then we found out he makes it in the back.
And you know what I'm always amazed at? How much crunch I get all over my table.
I know. See, they ought to have it like Logan's Roadhouse, or you know, like crunch all over the floor, and you can just throw stuff in the sawdust.
Here's the thing that makes a difference. We're kind of getting off the printing thing. We're talking about sushi for a minute. Sonny uses sauce. I love.
Yeah, you're kidding
Sushi
yourself
has
if you
sauce.
think this is like traditional sushi, this fusion stuff. It's an American version of. And if you're gonna have sushi, fusion sushi, it has to be just covered with
Good
the
sauces.
creams and lotions. Otherwise, it's just boring. You ought to just get generic.
That's good stuff.
I mean, look at that. Look at that. There's no way. I mean, I kind of like sometimes target it like, okay, if I bite here, then I'm going to get some salmon and
So, you know, I don't think we changed each other's minds about printing, but you did spin my mind a little bit.
yeah, I don't think you're as against printing as you think.
Probably not, but this comes down to just being lazy again, I think. But I like what you said just about taking that block of prints every month.
Yeah, but I like I want to find out about how do I get my camera roll to print. I probably would use my my phone quite a bit more for taking pictures if I had that service.
Yeah. So, you know, here's a time to print. And there's definitely a time for sushi, and that's really any time.
That's right.
It's good stuff. So, you know, as always,
We agree to disagree, but this one we kind of agree on.
kind of ended up that way.
So get out there and print something.
Print something. And don't forget, say
Say
sushi.
sushi.